Hello, beautiful people. I'm Chris Maddox, founder of the Wild Woman Project and Wild Woman Fest. And I'm speaking to you today because it is full moon time. So it's full moon time in May in the year 2020, which is this liminal space that we're all living through together. It's truly uncharted territory, but it is an in between. It is an in between what the world was before the pandemic and what it will be after the pandemic. And we are in this space, which, liminal space is truly disorienting. Because in liminal space, you don't have the comforts of clinging to what was and who we were and how things were. We also don't quite have a sense of who will be and what we'll have and how we'll do this thing. And so we are in the mystery. We are truly living in the mystery. And so much of our spiritual practice or the inner work is about becoming radically present where we are. Not living in the past, not clinging to ideas of the future, but being right here in this body, in this breath, right now. Like that's where the magic happens. That's where we unlock the door and open it. So I want to invite that awareness in even stronger today as you're in your full moon time, as we are in our full moon time, to really think of the mystery of this moment and to contemplate for ourselves what is liminal space? How is the in between space, like, how's it going for us inside in our relationships, in our relationship to the world, in our relationship to our community? Like, how is being in liminal space kind of shifting or changing things? Because, of course, the circumstances are different. We will likely be different in this space. So, without judging ourselves or having any agenda on how we should be, there's no roadmap. There's no, have to around this. It's just an awareness. Like, how does it feel? How does it feel? I can share for me, this whole thing of really being out of the habitual doing, which in some ways it's become really clear inside of myself, like my habitual doing, the things that I do, even the things that I love to do, even the things I stand by and I'll continue to do, they're in some way, they have been a form of me sort of feeling in control of life and forgetting often that I am not in control of life. I am to some degree in control of how I respond to the unfurling of life, and I'm a creative being, as we all are. So, I'm co-creating with the beings and the society and the natural world. We're all dancing together, but I am in no way in control of this thing. And I'd say in the first month or so of self quarantine, I was really grappling with that. That felt like a breaking down of something fundamental inside of myself. And now it's interesting, I'm sort of getting used to it. And I'm not done. I have no idea what's coming or how it's going to unfurl, and I won't even pretend to know. But I will say something is changing. I'm becoming more and more aware of that great big dance that we're in. Like, we're dancing. The rain just started to come down on my roof as I said that. And suddenly I'm affected by that sound. I'm aware that, as I'm making this video, there are certain faces that I know will watch this, and I'm thinking of you. And that's changing the dance of it. So this idea that I'm holding my control of this whole thing, or my perception of control, like a lot more lightly. So you might think for yourself, what has changed for you in the liminal space? It can literally be anything. And what's it about? What's it about? And what can we be learning from that? And you don't have to have your fully formed answers, but just to be in a process of listening, just to be in a process of self-inquiry and contemplation, so that we can navigate the liminal space with wisdom. Because the truth is, what's happening is neither fundamentally good or fundamentally bad. It's just happening. And whatever is the world that comes after this pandemic will be something that we co-create together. And the idea is, we don't want to be co-creating from a state of fear, from a state of lack, from a state of ignorance, from a state of hatred. But we want to be creating from a space of deep and radical presence. We want to be creating from a deep and radical love. And so it is in the hands and in the bodies and in the minds of each of us to really craft the new world that is coming, to take responsibility and understand that, you don't have all the responsibility and you don't have none of the responsibility. You just have some responsibility to co-create whatever the new world will be. What I'd like to offer you today is super simple. Sit down with your journal and ask yourself, what have I been doing that helps me to cultivate resilience? That helps me to connect to love and truth, wisdom. And it could be anything. Maybe you've been reading or writing poetry. Maybe you've been connecting with loved ones. Maybe you've been doing a certain meditation practice or a certain breath practice. Maybe you've been creating something. Maybe you've been gardening. Sky's the limit. It can literally be anything. Write it down, one or two things, and then just make a little commitment to yourself under the moon. I'm going to amplify this in my life. I'm going to do this a little bit more, so that with every day, I have a space that I'm connecting to my heart. I'm connecting to my truth, love, wisdom. And if many of us are doing that simultaneously, if many of us are committed to be living from that deep space of presence, then we will more easily, more gracefully co-create a world full of those things when we come through the other side of this liminal space that we're in. A world with more wisdom, more truth, more love. So we're going to be exploring the skill of loving in the next Wild Woman School, which will happen the very end of this moon cycle, or near to the very end of this moon cycle, on May 18th. So please join us. It's online. No one's turned away for lack of funds. We're going to look at the skill of loving, a much, much, much needed force in the world right now. So I hope that you will join us for that. Sending you a lot of love and full moon blessings and howls to you.